Are you a DINK, child-free, SINK, childless? Wait, which one is it? Hey, welcome to Unapologetically Childfree, where you find that child-free community that you never knew existed and now you can't live without. Y'all, let's get comfortable because we are talking terms, language, why it's important, and how you can find your community by knowing these terms a little bit more. So what is the difference between childless and child-free? To me, that's the most important thing we're talking about today, but we're going to cover things like DINK, SINK, TTC, pre-parent, and other terms that you'll see within the child-free community. If you don't know me yet, I'm Maggie Dickens. I'm a licensed therapist, but most importantly, I'm your child-free hype woman, and I don't remember where I learned the term child-free, but I remember how it changed my life in 2012 when I typed it into Google and I said, "Hey, Google, find me some child-free friends." Oh my gosh, it makes me feel so old because I was in graduate school at the time. Anyway, that search helped me find my ride or die best child-free friends, and it has led me to talking to you today. Why it's important to know what is child-free and where do you fit in? Because I know that when we're scrolling on Instagram and we come across a reel or a post from a child-free creator and we're resonating with it and we're like, yeah, that's my life. Oh, I want to follow you. I want to be a part of your world. And if you haven't done that already with me, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and you'll be a part of this community. Back to the conversation. You are vibing with this post and you start to follow this child-free creator. You are unsure. Do I really fit in? Language helps us find our people a whole lot easier. And I know that many people, even within the child-free community themselves, but especially outside, they don't necessarily understand why there are so many different terms and how it can feel a little bit separating. Many will say, well, why can't we just have one community for everyone? That exists in a grand scheme. But we also want to find that place where we know what to expect. And that is what language is really helpful for. That's what these labels, these terms are really helpful for, is it helps us moderate our expectations, understand who we're meeting, who we're hanging out with, and hopefully the potential trajectory of that relationship. Let's take child-free versus childless, for example. Now, these two are often used interchangeably. In fact, here in Europe, I see the term childless to be used for both. Let me know in the comments which you see the most of, because I find it to be quite interesting given the movement that we've seen in the last couple of years. The first word that we're going to talk about is child-free. And yes, this is the Unapologetically Childfree podcast, YouTube channel, community, Instagram, all of those things. My entire kind of world is using the term child-free. I specifically call myself child-free by choice. We'll talk a little bit more about why I make that differentiation. Child-free is someone who doesn't have kids, has never had kids, doesn't want to have kids in the future, and is loving the heck out of their life without kids. They are embracing this child-free lifestyle. Now, this is different from childless. Childless is meant to talk about those that actively wanted to have kids or passively assumed that they would have kids, and for one reason or another, whether that is medical or the timing never seemed to work out or something like that, they have found themselves without children and without the possibility of children in the future. Like I said, these terms are used interchangeably. And one of the reasons why I don't like to interchange these terms is because I know that there needs to be a space for those that are childless and still going through the grieving process, still figuring out what their life is going to look like and be like now that the plan for children has changed. There's a wonderful community called the Childless Collective. It has been around for a really long time. And I think that space needs to exist as much as I believe the Unapologetically Child-Free community needs to exist. Now, to further complicate things, there are terms that we add on the end of both child-free and childless that make it more confusing, but I also use them and sometimes think that they're helpful. Let me know what you think. We have by choice, by chance, by circumstance, not by choice. All of these are added to the end of both child-free and childless. I think child-free, not by choice, isn't really an accurate description that I would use. I think things like childless by choice also has this kind of confusing vibe to it. one of the terms that I use a lot, and I even use it to describe myself, is child-free by choice. And I use that because I really want to be very, very, very clear that I made an active decision when I was 20 that I was never going to have children. In fact, I'm terrified of getting pregnant and all things related to pregnancy. I'll do another video on that at some point when I'm ready to embarrass the heck out of myself, but today is not that day. I also use the term child-free by circumstance. The reason is I have some friends in the Unapologetically Childfree community that have kind of stumbled into the life of not having kids for a variety of reasons. I have friends that had medical conditions that left them unable to have children. I have friends who always thought that they would have a child and it just never really happened for them and said, you know what? I don't want to make kids a priority. I love my life the way that it is. And so, in my mind, this is just my little brain, the way that I think about it. And some people may disagree with me. Let me know in the comments if you do. That when someone moves from that space of, I thought I was going to have kids, or even I wanted to have kids, into, I'm so happy that I don't have them and I am embracing this life and I don't want to have kids. I have no desire to have them. That there's almost this transition from childless into child-free. I don't think this is necessary. And when I think about some of the people who I know who really embrace the term childless and still really have found a way to enjoy their life without kids, I don't want to minimize that experience. The people that I know that fall into that last category would have a baby in a heartbeat at any point if it was an option. And so that's where my brain kind of makes that difference is child-free people don't want kids. If the stork drops it off, I'm going to return to sender. And childless is still in the place where they would bring that baby in and enjoy their life as a parent. So like I said, adding in that piece of by chance, by circumstance, not by choice, all of those things sometimes can help you better understand that person. A little bit of a side note. The Unapologetically Child-Free community is not necessarily meant for those that are in that process of moving from childless into child-free. However, I really hope that you stick around and that you are able to learn all the different ways that being child-free is fulfilling and is fun and, in my opinion, because I'm super, super biased, an amazing way to live. And for me, preferable. So please stick around. And I even have an Unapologetically Child-Free starter pack that's free, but it will help you in a lot of different ways. Just grab that link in the description. We are going to rapid fire through these next terms because they're not as in depth. So there has been a rise of the term DINK and SINK. I remember a commercial that taught me the word DINK, and I don't have a clue what this commercial was for. I can't find it online. Maybe I dreamed it, but I did find an article from 1987 that coined the term DINK. All right, so DINKs, double income, no kids. And SINK is single income, no kids. A couple can still be single income, no kids. I know that there are some people who have kind of my dream life of being a stay-at-home dog mom. There's also the single income, no kids when you are unpartnered. All right, so those four terms, child-free, childless, DINK, and SINK, are the ones that we use the most to talk about those who do not have children. All right, getting settled in even more on the couch because the next few terms I'm going to talk about are not about child-free people. I think these are important to help us in a couple of ways. One, to better understand where you fit in if you happen to fall into any of these categories. Also, sometimes it's helpful for child-free people to better understand this is where someone is at. The first one is TTC, is trying to conceive. So those are people who are actively working on bringing the stork to their house. Then we have empty nesters. Empty nesters are those that have grown children that don't live with them anymore. There's a little bit of debate on whether or not an empty nester is considered to be child-free. I don't think so. Having raised a child to where now they are an adult and they aren't living with you anymore, you're still a parent. And with my personal experience with empty nesters, that parent brain isn't something that you can turn off simply because the child isn't living with you anymore. Which leads me to the next set that I'm going to kind of lump together. We have step parents and partial custody parent, and those parents who leave their kid with the sitter and have a night on the town. All of these groups are parents. They are not child free and they're actively raising children. I personally struggle with people who are actively raising children or who have actively raised children getting into the child free community and saying how much they enjoy being child free for those small, brief moments. Being child free is a lifestyle. Being child free is a choice that I have made. Being child free isn't something to just try on for a weekend. And I'm going to do a video about this in the future when I can get my thoughts a little bit clearer on it. The last term that I'm going to talk to you about is the pre-parent. There's two reasons that it's really important to differentiate someone who is child-free and a pre-parent. And the first is you meet someone and you're talking with them and you can vibe with them and you really want to get to know them. There's this difficulty that comes when you learn they and their partner are planning to have children in the next couple of years. So we already know, okay, in the next couple of years, more than likely, our friendship is going to dramatically change. So there's this question we ask ourselves, how much effort do I want to put into a relationship that I know may only last a couple of years? And some people are like, they're so cool, I'm going to navigate our way through. And some people say, hey, it's really not worth my time. So knowing if someone is a pre-parent really helps us making those active decisions on who we bring into our community and who we don't. And the other reason why it's really important to differentiate child-free and pre-parenting is when you look in the comments. When you see parents who say, I was child-free until I was 28 years old and I had my child and it changed my life and I thought I knew what I wanted before I had this kid, I say you were a pre-parent. They may not have been actively trying to conceive for 28 years however, they were not living a child-free lifestyle. And if you don't know exactly what I mean, stick around my channel for a while and you will see that there is a lifestyle behind being child-free. It isn't simply living the life everybody else is living without children. It is living life on your terms, doing so without kids and without apology. Again, I know that people say, why do we need to know anything about these? I already mentioned finding your people, understanding your people. It is really helpful if you went through fertility challenges and now you are embracing your life without kids and you are loving this child-free lifestyle. It is helpful sometimes to find the pre-parent that moved into childless and is now moving into child-free. That is a wonderful connection that you can make with someone. Another thing is when we're getting feedback from that last grouping where I said, these are not child-free people, they have made a choice to live a different life than the life that we're choosing to make. So we don't have to listen to their judgment on our life because we know we made this decision for a reason. We know we are loving the heck out of this life and that we wouldn't change our mind for anything, no matter what they say. And as a licensed therapist, I know it is so important for us to have that confidence and the boundaries within our own self to say, I'm going to fill my world with the things that light me up, that help me feel the best in who I am. And sometimes that means saying, no, I'm not going to put in the effort to make friends with who I just met, who is trying to conceive or is a pre-parent, or I know that I can just brush off any of this quote unquote advice that we're getting from those that are empty nesters and those that were pre-parents for an extended period of time. Now, before anything gets misconstrued, I also know with my education and my experience that it is important for us to have a diverse life in all ways, including the people that we surround ourselves with. And so I have friends that are parents. I also have friends that I have lost because of parenthood. And so when we know these terms, we can better understand the expectations within that friendship, and how to navigate those becomes easier when we have that greater understanding. Speaking of meeting new people, we're going to wrap up talking a little bit about my life here in Portugal because y'all have made it abundantly clear that you are on my couch mostly for child-free content, but also you want to hear a little bit about what it's like living over here. I wish you were here in person because we are having a free Unapologetically Childfree meetup. We're doing a picnic in the park. I'm so excited. I'm going to meet new dogs. I'm going to meet new people. And having a better understanding of these terms will also help me as I'm getting to know all of these new people that I'm meeting in Lisbon. And if you are local or you're traveling through, I'll put the link in the description if you want to swing by. Hopefully it is sunny. Fingers crossed for us, please. And if you can't meet us in person, we are having an Unapologetically Child-Free social hour, which is also a free event. It's going to be on Zoom. It is March 1st at 9 p.m. Western European time. And this is a place where we can get to know each other even better. And I can't wait to see you there. All right. Okay. We're talking Portugal. We're doing it. The thing that I wish that y'all were here for is the number of just events that pop up. I was walking the other day and there was just a DJ setting up. I've seen this in the past where just a pop-up DJ and at night you can go dance on the street. And I'm like, where's the signage? Where's the marketing? How do you know that this is happening? This also was going on with Carnival because there was a parade that started right outside my house. Like literally I sat in my window and watched it go by. And it was just so fun and so exciting to just have this life just kind of thrown in my face. And I'm only able to experience these things personally because I chose to be child-free. And I am so grateful for every single one of these opportunities. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today and learning about all of these terms and how you can use them to better find your community. Hopefully you can apply that during our social hour on March 1st. And I would really love to know which of these terms resonated with you the most, which terms you were a little bit confused about or that kind of were surprising. Drop that in a comment. I will get back with you eventually. And until next time, ciao, y'all.